Welcome back. I'm so happy to have you with us this week on the show to listen in on my conversation with Lynn Himmelman, a professional and highly awarded laugher. She believes that laughter and forgiveness are like two wings on a plane. We're going to dig into the importance of both, the natural reaction of laughter, how it's related to stress, why we start to unprogram that as a child. We lose that ability to come back to balance, and why it's so essential to restore that connection, even as adults. I know you're going to get so much out of this conversation. Thanks for joining us today. Living in a stressful world doesn't mean you have to give up on happiness. Instead, you can shift your perspective of stress and discover how to live your life in flow. Welcome to Happified. I'm your host, Susie Vine. Join me for inspiration and interviews with folks who are shining their light in the world in the areas of positive mindset, health, and wellness. I'm so happy to have you here. What if you could maximize your meditation practice with a tool that maximizes your time and attention with images and affirmations carefully selected to boost your positivity, to help you integrate your intentions into your subconscious? I have a special gift available for you. Visit happifiedlife.com and click on the Start Off Happy button to take a look at the phenomenal technology created by Positive Prime that uses neuroplasticity to literally wire your brain for more happiness, higher productivity, better relationships, and greater success. Head over to the happifiedlife.com page to start off happy with Positive Prime. Enjoy it free for 30 days. Welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back with us for another short and sweet conversation coming to you from the Podatorium here at Podpalooza, and I am joined by Lynn Himmelman. She is a life transformation mentor who's been accelerating the healing and awakening of thousands of individuals and organizations through the powerful synergy of forgiving and laughing for over 2 decades. She is a sought-after expert in resolving trauma, anxiety, and complicated relationship conflicts. As a seasoned, inspired laugher, she has been voted Toronto's most infectious laughter in 3 championships. It became a mainstay in her life, the laughter, not the championships, when it played a central role in her recovery from a serious brain trauma. And that's when she discovered through her own experience that laughter really is the best medicine, and when combined with forgiveness, that a powerful pathway to deep healing and lasting transformation. Thank you, Lynn, for jumping in with me. I'm so excited to have you on the show and bring this conversation because both aspects, the power of laughter, connecting with humor when we need to just shake things up a little bit and move ourselves forward, but also forgiveness, which is a pretty loaded topic for a lot of people. So I'm really excited to explore the duality here and how these play together.
Well, they play together beautifully, and sometimes I like to use the analogy of a jet plane, and the forgiveness and the laughter are the 2 wings that fly your life plane.
I love it. We'll get some good amount of lift under those 2 things,
Exactly.
right?
And when like you've got the laughter, but you have left out the forgiveness piece, it's not a smooth flight. And the other way
Yes.
around too, if you're just laughing, no, I already told that one. Okay, if you're forgiving but you're still kind of staying on that kind of plane where you don't really let yourself expand into that joyful expression, again, there's something missing.
Yes. And so I'd love to hear a little bit about your path of discovery, how you made these connections, had these insights, but then recognized how we can actually develop these tools or cultivate this better for ourselves.
Well, it all evolved out of my own life journey. And I actually started off as an opera singer. I was developing my career there. And at some point, my physical body started to shut down, and things weren't working at all. I had some really serious degenerative conditions going on, and I had no idea at that point in time that it was at all related to things from my past.
Those sneaky things.
And I would say I went around in circles for about 2.5 decades.
Wow.
Looking for answers, and yeah, it was a tough slog. And then I had when I was in my mid 40s, I came across something that actually embraces forgiveness in a whole different context than we normally understand forgiveness. Okay, so we tend to come at forgiveness from a cognitive perspective. And this particular way of forgiving was very tapped into using my own body, finding out how to use my own body as the laboratory and the indicator of what I had been hanging on to and didn't even know about consciously. Right. So through this really awesome process, I was able to tap into unresolved anger, unresolved guilt, and grief. I had a lot of grief that I was carrying about some really serious loss that I went through when I was a teenager. So here I was, not even knowing that I needed to address that, plus another series of losses that had occurred in my 20s, and that it was that interruptive of my ability to be full on, both feet in the center of my life in a very kind of living, breathing, effervescent way. I was working hard at life, and who would have thunk that just facing myself literally in a mirror, there's more to it than that, but facing myself through my own eyes, the eyes being the windows to the soul, that I could access levels of memory and and so on, of things that were holding me down and holding me back, and to, wow, let it go in a very way that was very graceful and easy, like nothing I had ever experienced before. And it all just came from agreeing with the decision to forgive and letting it be understood from a perspective that lives in the heart, not the head. And it was transformational, it was magical, and it was just purely miraculous, because it all happened within a matter of weeks.
After decades of trying to think and solve and learn and all of that, it's so fascinating how it's true. We really have become disconnected from recognizing what feels right, how things land in our bodies. Somatic therapy is so powerful, and not anything that I'm an expert in, but when I sit with my physical experience of things, it's light bulb moments, right? It's really seeing connections that I've been sitting there waiting for us to open the door and explore. We spend all this time up here, and we're not asking questions. And we are so heart driven. So wow, how powerful. And then suddenly, after all of this time searching for answers, there's ease to this process. I love it.
Yeah, it was remarkable. I honestly, my friends noticed the shift in me before I noticed it in myself.
I love it.
It was awesome. Awesome. And what's even more awesome is that I got to meet the person who had developed it. I got to learn it, and I've been able to gift that forward to people now for 25 years. And it is just so remarkable to witness again and again and again and again the same story unfolding for others that unfolded for me.
Beautiful. And so Like I said, I think forgiveness is really loaded topic. Sometimes we think we have to keep learning the lessons again so we won't repeat them. Sometimes we think we're letting someone off the hook if we forgive them and they
That, you know
haven't
what,
learned their
that is
lesson
the
yet.
biggest, that's the biggest obstacle right there. Sorry for jumping in, but that's the one.
Absolutely. It's all of this thinking, right? Oh no, I shouldn't forgive that. I can't forgive that. It's all of this mental process. How do you help people start to let go of that? I shouldn't, I can't.
It's built into the process.
Beautiful.
It's built into the process. So somebody can actually come into a space with me and be in that place of resistance. It doesn't matter. As long as you know, even in the face of your resistance, you want to find your way through it and beyond it, it will happen. The magic will happen. And if you don't want, don't come see me.
If you're
that's
okay
the
with
long
how
and
things
short of it.
are.
You want to stay angry? You know, like if you're truly married to that idea that somehow is going to carry you through, I'm not here to try and convince you otherwise. Just, you know, it's like if it's your time, if it resonates and you want that kind of help, then it's there. It is there.
Yeah, and I think that is something, once we get to that point where okay, we're done holding on to this, carrying this with us, letting this story define
And the
who
other
we are.
part of this is you're so exhausted with repeating the story. The story that the one that's the most obvious to you. Here's the thing, the story that's the most obvious to you, the one that you keep rehashing and telling and analyzing and asking why, and was it this, and was it related to this? I was the analysis queen, by the way. You know, paralysis by analysis. I had no trouble getting into the headiness of it, and a whole lot of trouble really just allowing myself to drop into this presence here and now. This presence here and now is where all of that we are asking for in our lives lives. You're not going to find it anywhere else. You're not going to find it in the past. You're not going to find it in the future. Okay, so that's another issue, for some, it's holding on to the past. That's holding them away from just pure health and happiness. Okay, the gift is there. It's just waiting. It's waiting to pour in. Or the other one is all the fears and worries about the future, because either way, you're not here now. Right? So this way of forgiving, where you're face to face with yourself in a mirror, plus there's all this other lovely stuff where there's meridian pathways being opened up. There's, a clean line of communication between your conscious and your unconscious, so you can access stuff that you have forgotten. People remember names and places and experiences that they haven't thought of. Maybe like I had an experience where I had a lifelong, from age 18 to age 45, I was debilitated by an allergy to cold and wet. Guess what?
Toronto, that's kind of a problem.
Guess what? That got solved by forgiveness. Yeah, I mean, all those years I was allergic to rain, snow, fog, cold water, couldn't drink cold water, What did it take? It took a couple of hours with someone who led me through that special way of forgiving, and boom, allergy gone. There is a relationship between how things play out in your body physically and what we're hanging on to up here.
Yes. Yes. And I love where we can go and what we can discover about ourselves and just about people, the fascinating way that we are wired and put together when we can observe that. And as you mentioned, this isn't the kind of thing that's easy to do for ourselves. We
No, it's
can't
trying to
see it
see
so
the
often.
whatever, like if there's something on your back there, you can try and see if you can. No.
No, let's just make shorter work of this and call in some support when we need it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I'd love to then explore the transition or correlation, as you said, the wings of the plane with
Yes.
laughter. How does that play with forgiveness? Obviously, I think, obviously, perhaps not to everyone, but when we start letting things go, we can start
Mhm.
feeling light enough to find humor in situations where we would not have before.
That's right. We can. We can. Now, here's the thing: the way that I approach laughter, and I didn't know. It took a few years, like it was like 1997 where I came out of that depressed place that I was in through this special technique. It's called new decision therapy, if anybody wants to know. And I had that time from 1997 till 2004 where, yeah, I was feeling lighter. People noticed the difference. I smiled more. It was still quite contained. It was quite contained. And I wasn't really laughing a whole lot. I was experiencing that lightness on the inside, but it wasn't really getting expressed well enough out here. So getting into this way of approaching laughter in a very out of the box fashion, it's actually well matched to my previous career as an opera singer because it's vocal expression, right? So I was already familiar with vocal expression, which is like, like just open the mouth and sing. And this is just all about open the mouth and laugh, like, the thing that weirds people out is this: you're laughing about nothing. Okay. So you already know how to sit in front of a comedy show and laugh. You already know how to, laugh at all kinds of things, like a comedian, somebody's humorous joke. But do you know how? And can you call it up on cue anytime, anywhere? Doesn't need your pocketbook in order for it to happen, just to start to laugh. It's awesome. There's actually scientific studies that have shown your body does not know the difference between when you fake a laugh and when you do what you think is an authentic and real laugh connected to something that you heard or saw. Okay.
Ooh, juicy. And just in case anybody else isn't up to speed on the benefits of laughter, I'm sure you've got them better in hand than I do, but I believe it boosts your immunity. It helps
Yes.
us live longer. I mean,
Totally. Yes, ma'am.
and it's a great
And
lung
so much
exercise.
more. So much more. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
what are some of the highlights? Because some people are like, well, it's immature. I have to be professional. I have to be serious. I'm trying to get big work done. I say.
that was the hurdle I needed to cross because that whole kind of persona of being a professional opera singer, you got a certain image to maintain and just like, like just it was so I had to break through a lot of barriers, beyond the barriers I'd already broken through with the forgiving. There were other barriers around self-image, like how other people were going to see me. There were still some, little nuggets of concern about, whether somebody else was going to judge me, Yes. One of the things that is really awesome about laughing about nothing is that it it spins you back to the true authentic place of your relationship with laughter before you were connecting it to jokes and humor, because we started laughing when we didn't even know how to walk or talk.
Right, right. I
Right.
just got to in my mind that image of babies. I just love those videos of babies laughing hysterically from the silliest thing, the
Yeah.
silliest little thing, and you can just
Yeah.
keep them going and going and going.
Because they're in that state of joyful discovery of the movement of energy, and they see objects, they see color, they see movement, and they're just responding to like the actual sort of experiencing it. And we lose that after a while. Yeah, we lose that. And so this way of laughing that I'm focused on is about laughing from the inside out, because for the most part, we are keeping our relationship with laughter pretty small because we only associating with things from outside of ourselves to get the inside to feel
Ooh.
better.
That's like
So,
happiness. We think happiness is out there. We can't find it. We can't find it. We keep looking and looking.
yeah, no, it's in laughter is in there too. It's not out here. Yeah, it's in. It's I mean it's part of your whole programming. It's what you came in with.
We're getting back to our roots.
And here's the other thing that a lot of people don't realize. Okay, yes, laughing helps to like depressurize things when you're feeling a lot of stress. When you feel that kind of you can't breathe well and it's all sitting high in your chest, and none of you can relax. Well, you're caught in the fight and flight. When you laugh, it is triggering movement in the diaphragm. It's connecting to your vagal nervous system. It's getting you into the big vagal nerve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's helping you reset so that now you are in your parasympathetic nervous system. It's a really kind of fast switch into, you can actually let your breath drop down deeper, coming straight from the belly. Like they talk about a good belly laugh. Yes.
And I'm feeling that sigh that comes after you've really indulged in a good belly laugh when you're trying to
Yes.
catch your breath. Like there's that big sigh that's definitely one of those key indicators you've moved back into that parasympathetic state. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Some people they will, when they're feeling nervous or stressed, they'll just kind of randomly laugh, and then they feel embarrassed that that's happened. It's like, oh, I don't know why I'm laughing. Well, it is actually the body's natural kick in response to stress to dumb it down.
Ooh.
It gets programmed out of us when we're quite young.
That it's inappropriate.
Inappropriate, exactly. Just that, like I have this scene of, okay, kids, they're just entering school, they're getting disciplined into, staying still in their seats and listening to the lesson and so on. And maybe they're not getting something, they're not fully understanding, and they're starting to feel stressed, and they may just start to laugh, and the teacher's going, Johnny, what are you laughing about? Johnny, okay, up into the corner. This is no laughing matter, right? Without really understanding that laughter is coming from a place of stress over something that they don't yet understand. Okay. And so it gradually, and parents do it too, not realizing they actually, okay, so maybe Sally or Johnny or Henry did something they shouldn't have done, but they're just still in learning mode of, okay. And they start to laugh about it again because they can see that deep concern on the the adult face. Oh no, I'm in trouble, but I don't know why, and they'll just start to laugh out of nervousness. It's not out of disrespect, right? And eventually that mechanism where we just laugh away the stress, we get so disconnected from it that we actually judge it when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the little connection that I'm putting together is those experiences where we feel judged or wrong for laughing then leads to experiences that we store up in our body and we don't even recognize we're carrying around with us. I feel like that's moving us back into the forgiveness piece.
Exactly. Yeah, it all intertwines.
We need both wings on the plane.
And you know what? When you get it, okay, so I'll just mention this off the top here because it's coming to mind now, just for your listeners, that I have every second Tuesday this free event. It's just called a stress interrupter, where we just get together on Zoom screen and I lead you through some, I call it adult nursery school. Where we just, I give you some techniques for just letting it out, just laughing. We're all being silly with each other. So there's nothing to judge because we're all doing it together. And at the end, it's always the same. Everybody feels this sense of calm, like they've just come out of this amazing deep meditation.
I love it.
Muscles are more relaxed. The mind has slowed down, and there's this sense of just being present. We're just there. Like sometimes people don't want to leave when it's over. They're just kind of like hanging. Don't really have a whole lot to say. They're just kind of enjoying hanging together.
It's a laugh spa.
It's a laugh spa. I love that. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm so glad that that you host these events, but for sharing that with our audience, thank you for that. And we'll have your information in the show notes too, so folks can connect with you and learn more about this, which I've just dubbed Laugh Spa, but your name for it is?
If for the stress interrupter, if you want to find the link to that easily, you just go laughinglynn.com and it'll take you straight to that page, or you look up my name on Eventbrite.
All right.
Because it's listed there too.
Oh, beautiful. Because it's Zoom, it's a digital world. We can join you and laugh and relax from wherever we are.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been such a treat, Lynn. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad that we got matched up in the Podatorium.
Indeed. I would have been sad if we hadn't, because you were like, it just seemed so obvious that we needed to meet.
It's true. It's true. We've been running parallel circuits. Marvelous. Thank you again for sharing what you do, for doing what you do. We definitely need more of this in the world. Permission granted, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Take good care of yourself and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us today. To learn more about living life with less stress and more flow, visit happifiedlife.com. Subscribe on your favorite player to catch the next episode as soon as it's out. Sharing really is caring, so please rate and review the show while you're there. And if you know someone else who would love it, please pass it along. Until next time, my friends, keep on shining.